Your internet, like,
Kirsten's,
oh,
is it going in and out?
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully it stays. And listen, if it doesn't, we could always try this again. But
Okay.
so if it's cool with you, I'd like to just kind of have a conversation and maybe do a little of interviewing with you, and then show you a little bit about this event
Yeah.
and get your thoughts. So this is actually pretty exciting because this is like our first. Well, now that I'm out of J.P. Morgan Chase, you and I have talked about this for a while. Did you ever think it was actually going to happen?
No. No, I did. You were pretty adamant about trying to make it work, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm free now, and now it's like there's like focusing my time on what I really should be doing has been the challenge because like there's so many things that I want to tackle.
And you gotta prioritize.
Got to prioritize.
Yeah.
So real quick, we'll do a little bit of an interview, but Keirsten Sires, just give a little backdrop on who you are. Introduce.
Sure. So once again, my name is Keirsten Sires. I am the founder and CEO of LockerRoomTalk. I started LockerRoomTalk because I was a college athlete. I played tennis and soccer at Skidmore College and realized that the recruiting process wasn't as simple as people make it seem. There's a lot of false promises. There's a lot of questions around what it's like to kind of commit to a school and what it's like to be a college athlete and everything else like that. So at LockerRoomTalk, we get college athletes to rate their college coaches in order to keep upcoming college athletes more informed during the recruiting process. And we also educate on the recruiting process. Our whole goal is to keep the recruiting process honest and easy and to provide transparent firsthand information about the whole process, as well as just being a college athlete as well.
And from the athlete book perspective, I've always liked working with you because I feel as though we're like kind of the next step in the process. So, and you guys do such a great job of informing college athletes or high school athletes on the opportunities that they have ahead of them, and then we have taken them to the next step once they're in college. Do you offer any services for college athletes that are actually in colleges before they choose their choice?
For like jobs, or are you talking
for anything, any kind of services? Like, is there any kind of resources on LockerRoomTalk for existing current athletes?
So for existing current athletes, they can join our internship program, and that's probably the biggest thing. As far as like the website is concerned, nope. We just allow them to kind of have a voice and rate their college coach in order to inform the next generation. And I know a lot of college athletes feel passionately about that because a lot of them say, I wish I had this information, or I wish I knew my coach was going to make me run, 5 days out of the week, or whatever other information they didn't know going into it. So I would say between that and then again, the internship program is probably the only thing that we really, really offer to the college athletes. That's pretty.
So let's talk about the internship program, because you and I have worked with each other before. I believe I've connected a few college athletes to you guys before in the past, but what are the interns doing at LockerRoomTalk during their internship?
Yeah, so it's basically a 13-week rotational program that we've set up. So for 3 weeks, they do 3 different rotations. They'll do 3 different rotations for 3 weeks, and then a 4-week rotation. And they're doing anything from digital marketing to kind of statistics and research. And they basically help us with our consulting efforts, our seminars, with our content. They do a lot with creating the content. That's the primary job of the athletes, and kind of seeing the behind the scenes on how to run social media from a startup perspective, how to work with a small team, and just getting to know a little bit more about the business and being involved with the startup as well, because it's obviously a lot different than your typical corporate world internship.
And for any athlete that's listening to this, if you are not following LockerRoomTalk, you totally should be. I love the videos that you guys pump out, and you put out a lot of content. I feel as though there's almost a new video every day.
Yeah, we do. We like our content. I think we just like to keep things relatable, and we're always coming up with new ideas. And our interns are great, and with us for the fall semester, spring semester, and then we have a summer internship as well. So we have quite a few of them, and they're all over the country, which is pretty cool. And it's really cool once they start and we start to see connections. Like we've had interns from the same school who didn't know each other was interning until they started, or we actually had 2 basketball interns. One of them, they both started at Vanderbilt together and then both transferred away, and then they kind of reconnected because they were doing the internship program. And again, they had no idea that each other was going to be doing it. So it's cool to see all those connections, even though everybody's kind of all over the place.
Nice. When you have them creating content, video content, what parameters do you put in place? Or is it just guys go for it? Or what kind of checks and balances do you have before you actually post it?
Yeah, I mean, we have some like brand guidelines, obviously. And I'd say some of those things would be like maybe clothing that they're wearing, just like making sure that it's either locker room talk related or something to do with, like just like nice looking clothes, like athletic wear most of the time.
Do you send them a welcome kit of any gear, locker room apparel, locker room talk apparel?
Yes, as long as they get NCAA approval. So they actually have to go through compliance at their school and get approval to say, yes, I'm aware that I'm receiving a t-shirt through this internship program.
Okay. So, because
yes.
as much as we work with college athletes, we also work with employers, right? And and even this event that I'm going to talk to you about in just a minute, working with compliance is always something that has to be top of mind so that you don't destroy your business. So from a business owner, what type of paperwork or what type of process do you have to put in place to make sure that you're safe when you are working with college athletes?
So it's one of those things that's very interesting because they kind of heavily rely on the student athlete to do it. So we always just make sure, like the school depends on the student athlete to be making those decisions and utilizing compliance and stuff. They don't really sit there and like shove things down their throats or ask them every 2 seconds if they're complying with the rules. So we always just make sure that when we're on the phone with them, we ask them straight up like, hey, please make sure you go to compliance, get whatever paperwork that you need to participate in the internship and everything else like that. So we're very diligent with that, and we always make sure that we let our student athletes know that as well. And we've never come across any issues. We, make sure that we're in line with all of the regulations and the rules and everything else like that. So, but I mean, they've never said no because we have non-athletes as well, and we send them the gear and everything right away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's something that we have to be a little bit more careful with the student athletes because we would like to just send it to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, or, what your background is. It's just because you're joining the internship program. But we always want to be safe for that, obviously. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the content is concerned, though, like there are a few things that we kind of try to keep them in line with. But I'd say the biggest thing is kind of them just being themselves, and if there's a story that they want to tell, kind of diving into it. And again, the whole thing is just being honest and keeping that transparency between the next generation and this current generation. So I think that's always our biggest thing. We don't want anything that's like forced or anything else like that. We want them to be themselves.
So last thing I wanted to ask about the compliance, because again, I'm thinking about this for the future project. It's one thing making sure that they clear the compliance when you are sending them apparel and gear for them to be repping that as part of the internship. Are there any other items that companies, employers, you guys, the athlete book should be considering when creating video content that has college athletes in it, making sure that from a compliance perspective, we're not taking advantage of their likeness or something like that? Like, has there ever been anything that's come up like that for you guys before in the past?
For us, no. Our general rule of thumb is, in my best understanding of the laws of the NCAA, is that we can't have the kids using their status as a student athlete. So they can't basically go around saying, you should go buy a membership on Locker Room Talk because I said so because I play at University of Alabama type of thing. So it's really, you can't like
Oh, hold on.
companies or anything like that using that status, and they can't
wait. Keirsten, sorry, you froze for 1 second.
Oh,
just
sorry.
Repeat that last sentence that you said.
Where did you leave me?
No, you were saying that I think you froze right at you can't use their status.
Yeah. So Right. So you can't have somebody go around saying, um, I'm an Alabama football player and you should use locker room talk and here's why, and, really promoting the goods and services that we provide. On the other hand, we're totally fine with them talking about the recruiting process and everything else like that, because it's educating on the next generation. But they can't go around saying, here's a water bottle that I love to use, Poland Springs, because I'm an Alabama football player, type of thing. Right. So it's like, that's where the line gets crossed. NCAA also realizes that there are probably a decent amount of student athletes that want to go into sales or some type of sales role, or modeling or whatever else it may be. So they do, obviously they're aware of that. So if there's something where it's a sales role and you're supposed to go around selling Poland Springs water bottles, you can go do that as a student athlete. But the thing is, you can't use the fact that you are a student athlete. So you can't show up and say, hey, everybody, guess what? I'm a student athlete in the NCAA and you should buy my water bottles.
Right.
That
makes total sense.
You're not supposed to mention it at all unless, obviously, if somebody asks you, like, if you get into a conversation with somebody and they ask you, you're not going to lie and say no. But they have interesting bylaws and stuff around it. But, making sure that we're abiding with compliance is one of the most important things to us.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I had a meeting, or I've had meetings before in the past with athletic directors, and it's, if you violate something like that, you are in our type of industry, you're so quickly can just get written off, and it can kill your entire business. I mean, at the very there has to be trust on the foundational level with all of these services, whether you're helping college athletes or high school athletes.
Right.
Cool. And while you were talking there, I was just flashing your website. Now, last time we talked, you mentioned that you guys were about to make some changes to your site. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. We're super excited about it. We're going to be adding like a membership portal and a subscription-based model. So you'll be able to either sign up with a free membership or a paid membership. And we're actually going through like whole rebranding, redesign, everything. So you'll see a lot. The updates will be really great for search functions and just user friendliness and everything else like that.
Who's an ideal member for the site?
I would say a high school parent, a high school coach, a high school athletic director, or a high school student athlete, as far as using the everyday things that we provide. We try and tackle all angles of the recruiting process and being a college athlete. And, I think our biggest thing is providing that firsthand information in order to help those kids.
Cool. All right. Well, kind of getting back to the internship mode and talking about ways that Locker Room Talk and the Athlete Book can partner with each other. As you know, I'm very excited for this event that that we're looking to do. And, in the past, that we've done virtual online career fairs. Locker Room Talk has participated in some of those events before in the past, and we are going to continue doing those. But now we're looking to be a little bit more media rich. So I don't know if I could share. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen here. And for a second, you're going to see yourself and probably 1,000 windows follow behind it.
It's okay.
Or maybe that's what I'll see.
Yeah. No, that's what I see too.
Okay, let me know. Did that come through?
Yep.
Okay. So this is one of a few different variations of this presentation that I have that I've been circulating around. But ultimately, you can see this, right?
Yep. We
want to do... So just like how Locker Room Talk does, education towards high school students. I mean, we want to do we are always striving to do create virtual events that have that give the college athlete bits of information about what they can do in their future in a way that is conducive with their very, very busy schedule. You and I were both college athletes. We know what it's like, and a lot of times what you're going to do next is an afterthought or not a thought at all. I mean, for me, it was, getting playtime, having fun with friends, and hopefully, getting a good GPA. And I really never thought about what to do next, or, strive to make any connections while I was in school.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back and knock myself around, but that's the reality of the situation. So, leading up this summer, what we wanted to do, and I'm hoping that we can have your involvement. I've already put your logo on someone's face.
Yeah, absolutely.
We wanted to do panel discussions actually at Howard University and film it, kind of multi-camera filming segments. So the Athlete Book, probably myself, would be moderating a fireside chat where we would interview Yelp, Amazon, Under Armour, and hopefully Locker Room Talk about their internship programs or full-time jobs. I'm going to skip around, but we actually would want to film it in segments. Okay. So, and I recognize that these logos are reversed, but do Amazon, let's say from like 10 to 11, and athletes at Howard University can attend. They would listen to it, to the moderated discussion with just Amazon's campus recruiter talking about their area manager role. They would be able to ask questions afterwards. They would then leave the room and they could have like a meet and greet with the Amazon recruiter, and then shoot the same segment with Yelp at 12. And we don't have you guys on here, but shoot a segment with you guys. And then also with Under Armour. Hopefully the employers are able to come into the room, but if they were not, we could do it virtually through like a Zoom interactive, streaming kind of conference call. Athletes could pre-register ahead of time. They would get tips about, what the employers are looking to hire for. And then we would, as mentioned here, we would edit the content down. So it wouldn't be a live stream. Mm-hmm. And I say that because these companies with the large legal and marketing departments, they are going to want to make sure that the content is polished before it goes out, but also valuable to everybody. And then once everybody signed off on the content and they're able to log into the software platform, we're going to end up using probably Grabio or Livestream. We would then put all of the segments together as one continuous stream. And we also have a few sponsors that would be doing more life skills. So, for instance, there's a financial, prepaid Visa card that wants to do a segment on financial responsibility. There's a custom suit company that wants to do, mistakes not to make and how to dress on the interview. And there's two other companies that I don't want to mention just yet. But the idea is that we would, once the content was ready to go, all of us could stream this on our social properties, as an FB Live, a YouTube Live, Periscope, any web page that we wanted to, just by embedding the HTML code. And then, and I'm hoping this is something that I could partner with Locker Room Talk, we could invite as many college athletes and or high school athletes to take part in this marketing promotion by sharing the stream on their Facebook page, with the idea of trying to get as much distribution as possible. I'm going to stop there for 1 second, bring it back to you. I'll stop sharing. Do you see yourself?
Yeah, I do. It's so awkward.
Did I stop sharing though?
Yeah,
Oh,
now
here.
you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thoughts on that?
I think it's awesome. And, I think I've done events like these before where it's kind of like a one-off, going to a college here, a college there. And I think it's valuable for the schools to be doing it for the student athletes specifically, because you're spending so much time on your sport. You're spending, 30, 40 hours a week on your sport plus school, that a lot of people don't have the time to worry about job and after the fact. And I think that something like this provides the opportunity for people to actually be able to, tune in and do it when they can when they have the time, when they have the off day, even though apparently NCAA is taking away the off day, but that's a different conversation. You can actually sit aside and do this. I think can you hear me?
Yeah, you paused there for a second. Probably because I was moving the screens out, but I heard what you stopped at. I've heard they've taken away the off day.
Yeah. So that's a different conversation. But having the ability to do it over the summer or at night or whatever else, I think it's so invaluable. I wish I had a resource like this when I was going through college and being a college athlete and everything else like that, because my perception of jobs in the real world was a lot different than what it actually is. And I think providing other resources as far as different companies to think about, like Yelp and Amazon, that you may not traditionally get access to while you're in school, I think it's awesome. I'm bored.
So, okay. Now, do you guys want to be involved with it?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. And we're probably going to be in DC. Would love for you guys to come down. If, though, that's something that you can't do, I'm going to share my screen again.
Just let me know when the date is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping to hear I heard Howard told me by Wednesday. And they're kind of anchoring this whole thing. Oh, we're looking at it's going to be soon. It's probably going to be like July, like probably mid-July if I had to guess, but we're not 100%
Weekend or weekday?
sure. Weekday.
Okay. Yeah,
but
let me know.
I think even if not, can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
We could always zoom you in.
I know. I'd prefer to be there though, obviously.
Of course.
So I'll definitely try and actually physically.
So let me also show you this. So with the Grabio platform, can you hear me? Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
What I was going to say is, if you wanted, I obviously will come down and do all that kind of stuff. I could try and see if I can drag one of my interns with me, or one of my former interns. So they can kind of talk about, what it's like to be a student athlete and have an internship at the same time and all that kind of stuff if you want.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
And we would do you guys in a segment, and then, like I said, you would be able to kind of join.
Can you get my face
outside?
Screen?
Oh, sorry. Here. Sorry. I know. Every time I look at myself in the corner, I'm like, oh, not made for camera. No, you look great.
Focal point.
No, hilarious. So, see this little clip here?
Yeah.
I can make it large, but I don't know if that's going to go on the screen. No, okay. So what's really cool about this, Keirsten, is that we are going to load up these video segments, and you'll have admin access to access the video.
Oh, cool.
Your team could edit it however they like, and then obviously there'll be a deadline on it. And then once it's prepared, we bring your video on the campaign side, and you can connect all of your social accounts into this one admin access here, and you can distribute the content to meet your audience preferences.
Oh, very
if that
cool.
makes sense. Yeah, so you can do it across the board, and it connects with all of these different things here. And then also the platform Grabio does a really great job of kind of slicing it up for trailers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really, really excited about it. It was hard for me to decide if I want
approach, by the way.
Thank you.
How you kind of pivoted. I think that this.
I'm going to take you off the screen. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I don't want to say could be more successful, but I kind of think that. I think that.
I do.
I think I loved your original idea and how you were attacking it, but I think it's just so hard to get in any sort of social space at this point.
Yeah.
You just need so much money, and if you could go to Silicon Valley and say, hey, give me $20 million to do it, you would do it and be 100% successful. But without that, who's to say that even if you started a little bit, somebody's not going to come in and swoop up and do the same thing. This is just a little bit of a different approach. It's almost more personalized in ways, and I don't know. I like it. I'm a huge fan of where you're going with this.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I've actually been toying around with the idea of, do we continue doing the virtual online career fairs? I like how this could complement it. So the idea of
why can't you do both? Is there?
I can. It's just it's costly.
Okay.
For the athlete book, the licenses itself are expensive.
Okay.
But what I've noticed is that if we could bring in the right sponsors with these virtual panel discussions, and instead of working with the campus recruiting budget, you're working with the marketing budget for these large
Right.
companies. Now all of a sudden, if you can say, "Hey, we're going to have 200,000 plus viewers on this because we're going to have so many people sharing this."
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, if and you have control over your content, and we'll set the stage. Now all of a sudden we can get those marketing dollars that just aren't as prevalent in the campus recruiting budget.
No, you're totally right. I think it's a great idea. Where you going?
We'll see how it goes. I'm psyched that you're on board with helping out, and I guess more to come. I will send some information.
Yeah, just let me know when you need us to send like an email to everybody, all the athletes that we have, which is a lot now.
I was gonna create a custom landing page that was just for that, and I can make it even one specifically in partnership with Locker Room Talk with the Athlete Book that you can send out. And the thought is, again, college athletes, sometimes, many times, college athletes do not get the experience that the other students get through their internships because there's not as many options, because you're limited in time.
Right.
So just simply by sharing this, and I will probably create some sort of a this almost serves as a education in how we are using this kind of medium. That could be an internship in itself, just simply by sharing it, something you can put onto your resume. So yeah, and I was hoping that you would be on board with trying to kind of promote that effort.
Yeah, absolutely. And and you're right. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, we do have non-athletes, but we do have a lot of college athletes, and we kind of tailored it around what was going to work for them. So like, it's remote obviously, but like their tasks are due on a weekly basis. So they basically have from Monday to Monday to complete it. They can do it the night before, they can do it the second they get the assignment, they can do it. They have a whole week to complete it at their own time.
And if they don't,
assignments are.
Do you guys pay them?
College credit.
Okay. And they're responsible for setting that up.
Mm-hmm.
And you usually have to
there's not
sign it
much we
off.
could do. We can't like reach out to the school or anything. They kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a page where if athletes are interested, they can go to that?
Yeah.
I have your site up right now. So is it join our team, I would assume?
Yes.
And then
It just talks about.
I see a lot of writing. I guess it says, if you're interested, please contact Tara Sayers. Is that your sister?
No, it's my mom.
Oh, putting mom to work. I like it.
She at this point, she basically runs the whole internship program, but she's the best person to do it. She's the mom.
Yeah, she's
Honestly,
managed you guys for so
great
long.
with them, like my mom's such an interesting person. She has such a great way about her as far as like being able to tell somebody like straight up how she feels like about what they're doing. Like, hey, you're really messing up and I'm disappointed in you, but like,
Yeah.
we're gonna joke around and be happy about it. And I really think it's only a quality that a mom can have.
Yeah,
Like, she's
I love it.
so honest with you and like can tell you, and you're like, damn, I messed up. But it's so funny. All the interns like go to her. I think it's just like I don't know, just a motherly instinct kind
I
of.
feel like you need to make her a character on the site.
Oh God, I don't know if she would. I don't think she would.
Oh man.
I don't think she would. I think I've even asked her before. I think that's too much for her. I think she likes working with the interns for now. But
Fair enough. We'll keep her where she's at.
yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention about Locker Room Talk before wrapping up?
No, I think that's it. I mean, yeah, I think I said all I need to say.
You said it well.
Just moving and grooving, man.
Moving and grooving.
Yeah.
We still got to meet in person, so I will probably be up in New York soon. But I will give you a shout, and for anybody, if this does air, Keirsten Sayers, take a look at Locker Room Talk, take a look at the Athlete Book, and we will talk to you soon. Stay on for a second. I will stop this video.